had come out to say that the country decided to go for the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine based on the epidemiological and equity assessment done by the WHO. Do you know the difference between a variant and a strain when it comes to viruses? Get enlightened as we focus on Nigeria's efforts at acquiring COVID-19 vaccines for the populace on this week's episode of Health Options. Thanks for joining us on the program. I am Rabi Abdullah. This is Health Options, and as we take a look at Nigeria's efforts at acquiring the COVID-19 vaccine, I have with me in the studio a key player in the process, former Director General, Nigeria Center for Disease Control, Professor Abdulsalami Nasidi, to take us through the discussion. It's always good to have you join us on the program, Prof.
Thank you very much, Rabi.
All right. Wow, so much talk about COVID-19 vaccine. Where are we? Nigeria has received some doses, 16 million of the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine. What can you tell us?
Well, all I would say is that Nigeria has not received yet. Nigeria is going to receive, okay. But the information was that it was to come. But the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine is has just been, given an emergency use listing by the WHO. That means that this vaccine can be used by any other country after this has endorsed it, their regulatory bodies. So that's a good news. And the two AstraZeneca vaccines that have now received WHO listing, those produced in India, and then the one produced in South Korea. So that means that this company that didn't have large volume of or large capacity to manufacture big volume of vaccines can now produce more, because it's now going to be produced in 3 countries at the same time. Okay.
Maybe you should just give us an insight into the cold chain process when it comes to vaccine storage now.
Yeah.
Before we dabble into other issues.
Okay. The most important.
Let's have an understanding in view of the variation in degrees
storage,
the temperature storage requirement. Yes.
Yeah, we are lucky with that because the Pfizer-BioNTech, this is more of a high-tech vaccine and requires a high-tech storage system. The AstraZeneca, the Russian vaccine, the J&J, Johnson & Johnson, all of these groups don't require such high-tech, low-temperature storage. So I would say Nigeria is lucky because the type of cold chain that is required for the deployment of the AstraZeneca vaccine that is coming is already in place virtually, even though not fully, but at least we are well advanced, and this is because of our preparedness during the fight against polio. So we enlarged the volume of our storage, we modified our cold chain, and we also empowered states and even LGA's cold chain systems to operate better. Most of our cold chains now are on solar system outside the capitals and so on and so forth. So we succeeded in eradicating polio because we have improved cold chain. Okay,
would you say those cold chains are still top notch as we speak?
Yeah, we can't say
outside Abuja.
Yeah, you can't say top notch, but they are sustainable. I mean, they are functional and sustainable. Okay. And all we need with the Oxford AstraZeneca is just a cold chain that will have a refrigerator that will give us +2, +8 temperature. And then to store it more, if you have -20 degrees, then you can keep them, they can last longer. But they are not going to decay if you keep them at +2, +8 for months. So we have that type of a volume to some extent, that we can handle those vaccines. Because it's the same cold chain that we are now using to immunize the children. So, it's not reinventing the wheel.
So is it the same temperature requirement for polio vaccine?
Yeah, the same temperature requirement for oral polio vaccine, for other vaccines.
The
tetanus
pentavalent,
toxoid, pentavalent, +2 +8.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay, so in order of priority now, we've had so much talk about those who should take first, go first for when it comes to administration now, health workers, elderly people, even top government officials. So can you let us into that?
Yes, because unfortunately we are in a terrible situation. We don't manufacture the vaccines. We are dependent on those manufacturers, so we can't determine how many doses we can have at a given time. So even the developed countries, they too, it's a new vaccine. Nobody has the capacity to produce the near 7-10 billion doses that's required to immunize the whole world, because you have to produce a little bit bigger than the volume of the population you want to immunize. So, then that's why every country has to prioritize. And most developed countries, prioritize exactly the same way we are doing now, even though we are going to differ a little bit. That is, first and foremost, protect the frontliners, those who are in the front line, the healthcare workers. And if you have small doses coming in, those are the first target we are going to, face and get them all immunized. And then the next group is the group of most vulnerable. Who are the most vulnerable? In our own environment, these are the people that are elderly, that have diabetes, hypertension, people with comorbidities. I'm using the language everybody will understand. People with other diseases that can weaken their immunity.
Okay, underlying ailments.
In the African case, so underlying ailments. So that type of volume will be big also. It can be very, very big. So, but if you start with that group, then the next group, those who come into contact with population, like the security people, like teachers. The schools will be open. If the teachers are protected, the chance of them bringing infection. So we are going to now have this prioritization, which has been carried out or designed by the NPA. So now, but to convince Nigerians that these vaccines are harmless, they are useful, they are effective, usually when they bring it to a country, you can start with the political leaders. If they agree, starting from the president and downwards. So, but I think Nigerians are more convinced now that everybody is waiting for the vaccine.
I want to believe you'll be among the first set of people.
I hope so, because I'm an elderly person. I have comorbidities. I'm a teacher, so I'm overqualified to have the vaccine.
Okay. Yeah. So let's go to I will call it a disturbing trend if you ask me. That's COVID-19 vaccine nationalism, self-preservation. The bigger countries with the wherewithal, and I just paying more attention on their people. What does this portend? What's the implication of this?
This has a very serious implication, and it's like
the world is a global village.
Yeah. Wow. A global village, on when it comes to life and death, everybody will look for his or our own home, to go and protect. And so that's what is really happening. That the world is a global village. Not in terms of ownership, survival. You understand what I'm trying to say? When it comes to that, and then the various countries will now have to be able to explain to their people, how come, our life is threatened and we have a tool to fight the disease that is threatening our life, and you are taking that tool outside to go and give to other people. It's not morally not possible. So we understand the Western leaders. They are the ones who invest their money to develop the vaccines. They are the ones who will produce the vaccine. And then there are people, and it's the tax payers' money that is used in most cases to assist even the companies to develop these vaccines. So there's no leader of any of such countries that will have the moral right to say he will allow vaccines to leave his own country before his people are fully immunized and start taking it outside. So
are you saying the COVID-19 vaccine nationalism is justified?
Not only this, that is number one, a good example that should teach African leaders in particular that, look, we either have to be fully independent or we are not. Because nobody will come to give you water to quench your own fire if his own house is on fire. Nobody. They will make sure that he has quenched his own fire in his house, and before he can, offer you, extra support with water that he will have. So it's not that they are wicked or they don't want to help and all this. Is that, look, we can't keep on, giving you all that we have, all you need, even if we are in trouble. So you should start learning on doing the following: identify your problems, identify how to find solutions to your problems, and make sure that you are no longer a consumer, but you start contributing to world civilization and world capacity to produce. This is what is lacking in many of our countries, but we pay attention to so many other irrelevancies, and when we are now faced with this, now our eyes open, and at times it's late.
Oh, I hope the developing countries will learn a lesson from all these happenings. Let's go to the issue of, I still call it a disturbing trend too. That's a disturbing development in the sense that we've been recording variants of the COVID-19 virus. We have the B117, that's the UK variant. We have the
B135, yeah.
The B135, that's the South African variant. And just recently, someone had just propped up. Which one is that? It's Nigerian.
In Nigeria, yes.
What is it called?
It's called B152. B125.
Okay.
B1525.
B1525. That's the Nigerian variant.
That's the new one they are saying, it's appearing in Nigeria, yes.
When was it discovered?
It has been, reported in December by the EDE Center.
Okay, it's the same, but now to understand the UK variant, discovered by Professor Happy, right?
Yeah, but now in UK, just a few days ago, they now confirmed that this new strain is really different.
Is it a
variant. This new variant is coming from Nigeria. It's really a new variant now, and it has different characteristics.
So it's not as if it's the UK variant that had been discovered here.
No, that's one. The UK variant has been discovered here.
Okay.
But some other variants appeared among Nigerians seen in UK also.
What does that mean?
Well, that means that more and more variants are coming up. The first variant that was reported that is different from the native virus is the UK one. Okay, that is the B117.
Yes.
So 117. So the same thing now, barely a few weeks after that, they discovered one in
South Africa.
South Africa. Then in Brazil. Then, so new ones will be coming up, and it's very important for us.
Yeah, I was going to ask you that. A lot of people have this confusion in knowing or telling the difference between a strain and a variant of a virus. What's the difference between the two, and which should we really be worried about?
Okay, so the difference between the two is, a good example that when a new virus comes up, that virus is called the native virus. That virus is a strain. Okay, it's a strain from a group of viruses. Now, unfortunately, the virus, they don't survive outside. They have to survive in the cells, either human cells, animal cells, or even plant cells. So when they keep, jumping from one human being to the other, and this is happening very frequently, they keep changing. Those changes are called mutations. So these mutations, I will give an example. If it mutates not very significantly, the strain will not change, but it will start going towards being a variant. When it's going to be a variant, that is when the changes are now significant and something in the property of the virus has changed. I'll give you an example. I'm wearing this cap now. I'm just one strain. If mutations keep going on, and now I have, a cap like this, it is the same me, but something has changed in me. So that is a variant. The virus has changed, it's now a variant.
But it's still you.
Yeah, but it's still me, and so on and so forth. Yeah. Now, if the changes become so different, and my face, my distance changed, for instance, I wear this mask, you understand me? So the changes become too much to the right. So now I am a different strain.
Or it gives way to a completely another professional CD.
Yes.
A different.
It's a different type of CD. Yeah. So the original one, it keeps changing. That is mutation. Then it comes to variant.
Okay.
Then from variant, if it keeps mutating, it will now go into a new type of virus.
And that is a strain.
And that now becomes another strain.
Okay, so for now, the global community is not contending with a new strain of COVID-19.
Not yet.
What we have to deal with is a variant.
A variant.
What will happen if a new strain is discovered?
Now
that we have vaccines.
Yeah, now even before the new strain is discovered, the issue of this variant. Why is the world worried about these variants? You know, one, if it keeps changing, for instance, the UK one, it can make the virus to become more transmissible. That means it's easier to transmit from human being to the next human being and so on and so forth. So in this case, more people will be infected faster. Even if you are pursuing all this, your lockdown and non-pharmaceutical intervention and so on and so forth. So that's implication number one.
Okay.
That you know, it could do that. Then another implication is that it can change and you have a variant that is more deadly, that can cause more severe cases and even cause more deaths.
Okay, so this underscores the need for people to keep prioritizing safety.
Yes.
Okay, so your last word to Nigerians on that? Yeah,
the last word to Nigerians is that, you know, don't think that, you know, the disease can just come and go easily, even if you are immunized or if you are following the non-pharmaceutical interventions. That the virus is still changing. It's still changing its color, its codes, and so on and so forth. And so we are going to be in this situation of, you know, observing, you know, non-pharmaceuticalism, wearing masks some time until we are sure that we don't have new variants again that can threaten our life. Okay, and for immune boosting strategies too. Yes, we have to continue with you know, following how to boost our immunity, either through vaccination or through even using passive by injecting antibodies, you know, into your body, or taking the immune boosters, you know, like vitamin D, vegetables, vitamin C. Okay. Just be on the safe side. Okay, thank you so much, Professor Nasidi, for making our time to be with us on Health Options once again. Thank you so much. Thank you. It's my pleasure always to be with you. All right. You are watching Health Options. Time now to bring you this week's recipe for a glass of live juice to boost your immunity on Our Nature's Corner.
To get the maximum nutritive benefits from the fruits and vegetables, we must make what we call at times freshly prepared live juice. When we do that, we're able to get the phytochemicals, the antioxidants, and the nutrients, vitamin C and minerals. You can look at the basil leaf. When we talk about the basil leaves, you can take 2 strands, let me say 10 leaves of basil leaves. You take 1 strand of the celery vegetable, chop it finely, and then the 2 strands of parsley. So we are talking about the celery, which has anti-inflammatory properties and anti-rheumatic properties. And then we talk of the parsley, which is a diuretic, and the 2 strands of parsley, and the basil, which reduces digestive stress. And of course, your 2 medium size of carrot, which are the sweetening agent, or apple, for maximum benefits. When you wash clean and chop finely with a glass of water, you get a freshly prepared, slightly sweetened juice. If you want your children to take this live juice, you can add, let me say, honey for extra sweetness. But that freshly prepared juice is an excellent one. And then, of course, people prepare smoothie. But don't over-smoothize it, because people tend to add a lot of this. But simple smoothie, you can take the orange juice. If you take the orange juice with a 1/4 size of lemon, and again a pawpaw, okay, and some watermelon, that again, we are getting a heavily good phytonutrient-rich juice. Once again, I said the watermelon, okay, and then I said the pawpaw, and then a 1/4 size lemon. The purpose of lemon, it has the alkalinizing effect, because the body pH tends to balance towards the alkaline, which will reduce acidity. Because once your body is over acid, there is high rate of acidity, it leads to chances of having all these diseases, either chronic and diseases. Apart from that, these live juices also are known, they are great detoxifying agents. They are able to detoxify the system. We can look at the dried form because somebody will say, okay, if I cannot get the fresh, how can I get the dried form? The dried form are made into teas. I give you an example, the sorrel leaves or the zobo leaves, okay? You have a handful of zobo leaves, you have lemon, you have ginger, you have cloves. These are juices. When you are able to add in a liter of boiling water, sieve, when you drink the juice, the tea infusion, when it is cool, you take it straight. They strengthen the blood vessels and they promote circulation. And of course, they have antioxidant property. So many fruits out there that you can be able to take them freshly. Let me give a quick one too. The beetroot. The beetroot is known as the hepatic plant. Hepatic plant is a plant that increases the well-being and tones the liver. So let's have one medium size of beetroot, okay? And again, a quarter size of lemon, and then a strand of celery and 2 strands of parsley. Okay, you blend this together in a glass of water, you have freshly prepared juice. This is good for us. And then the spinach, of course. I know a lot of you say, how can I take spinach in the raw form? When you take, let me say, 2 strands of spinach, okay? Yeah, spinach is aleyeho, the common aleyeho we have, which is very cheap and available, accessible. You see, God always gives you what you need most around you, and it's affordable. But because mankind looks down on those things because they see them every day, missing out the importance of those plants. The difficult ones are needed, but the most common ones are the ones you need every day, and that is why they are available. So like I said, the spinach leaf, you can take, let me be specific, maybe let's have 6 spinach leaf, let's have 5 basil leaves, let's have 2 medium-sized carrot, or optional 1, let's say 1 apple, and then a piece of ginger, and then you chop them finely and blend with a glass of water. The solution, which is the freshly prepared juice and rich nutrients containing phytochemicals, antioxidants, and great nutrients, especially the water-soluble vitamins.
That natural and safe way to fix yourself a live juice concludes our package for the week. You can go to our YouTube channel to watch the upload of these and other episodes of the program. Email us for your comments and contributions at healthoptions@nta.gov.ng. My name is Rabi Abdullah. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you again.